Good morning, everyone. How's everyone doing this morning? I hope you are well rested and ready to start a brand new day. Good morning. If you're new here, my name is KuanYin, and my purpose in these videos is to try to help people find a way to do a daily practice of some sort. Helping people find a way to do something every day that just nourishes your soul. And for me, these videos are that. And so if you like this kind of video, please give it a thumbs up. Consider subscribing to my channel down below and make sure to hit that notification bell because I'm here every morning at 9 a.m. or somewhere thereabouts. And sometimes I even upload extra things also. So you want to be notified when that happens. All right. So with all that, let's get started with this. Learning to trust yourself. What does that mean? That means, for me, that means dropping out of my headspace and dropping into the heart, because it's from the heart that you can trust. The brain doesn't trust. The brain analyzes, the brain overthinks, the brain questions, the brain never trusts. All right, so for me, this has been a difficult thing to learn to do, and I still have a lot of work to do on that because I live in the headspace, and ego comes from the headspace. That's another thing that I need to work on with myself, is to drop out of ego and drop out of headspace into heart. And for me, I can do that with meditation and deep breathing. I can do that with a nice nature walk and feeling all the senses and looking at all the things. But just grounding sometimes, walking on the earth with my bare feet. And I'm in a beautiful environment to do that with trees and nature all around. So that's an easy thing for me to be able to just walk out my front door and be in nature. I hear the birds chirping outside my window right now. It's wonderful. I used to live in a small town, so I had a small little patch of front yard to be able to walk out barefoot in, or a backyard, and a couple of trees, but not so many birds and nature sounds and all that. And still, it was very grounding. Even that little tiny patch of horticultured grass to walk in was nature enough for me to be able to ground and center myself. And when I ground and center myself, you know, when you ground yourself, you're settling down, and I'm dropping down, and I'm dropping from head to heart. So that's one of the ways that you can learn to do that, learn to drop from head space to heart space. And before I came on this video, I asked my guides for some assistance with this, because I know I like to stay in the head a little too long and talk from the head and not the heart. So they guided me to stop what I was doing and restart. And I took their advice, and it seems to work out so much better when I listen for that intuition. And intuition doesn't speak up here either. Intuition speaks from the heart. Intuition comes from the heart. So learning to trust that inner little voice and not analyze it, not bring all the reasons why that little intuition couldn't work, because that's headspace. And life goes so much smoother and kinder and more compassionate when people are acting from the heart. Okay, so I'm just going to get right started and into the cards, and this one just flew out at me. How come I keep getting repeats? Time for crayons. You know, that's a really good thought, though, is another good way to drop out of headspace and into heart space is to find your creativity. You know, pick up a crayon and start drawing. Another thing that helps get you out of your head and into your heart is switching hands. You know, I'm a righty. I'm a little bit ambidextrous because I've been practicing with both hands all my life, and my dad was a lefty. But to actually, one of the ways that I can help myself get out of headspace, if I'm trying to draw something and be creative, but I'm too much in my head and it's not coming out right, I'll switch hands. Yes, it'll be awkward. Yes, the lines won't be right. Yes, be all over the place. But the ideas that I'm trying to portray on the paper come through. And so I can draw it out with my left hand, get a better vision of what I'm trying to do. My eyes see what my opposite brain is trying to do. You know, my right hemisphere, the creative hemisphere, is trying to do. And helps me drop from headspace to heart space. And then if I want to actually draw a good picture, then I'm able to use my right hand and finish it up. And sometimes also I channel messages for myself that way. I ask myself, what's my subconscious trying to say to me? And I might be trying to think of an answer to a question in my head, like, what should I do for this circumstance? What does my heart want to do? And I'm too much in my headspace, so I write out the question with my right hand, and I pick up my left, and I just sit there. I don't even try to think of it. And then inevitably something will come up and I'll start writing. And what's in my heart, what's in my subconscious will come to the surface, and I'll write it out on that paper. So that's another way to help drop into heart center, is to pick up crayons, get artistic, use your opposite hand for things, do things a little differently, maybe get out of the rut that you're in by driving a different route to go to the grocery store or to go to work. You know, just any little thing to break your rut, break your habit, get out of that headspace can help you to follow that intuition, drop into heart, and trust yourself. Okay. This card really wants to come up. This card really wants to come up. And I'd like to show you guys some more cards in these decks, but the same cards keep popping up over and over. And this is funny, you know why? Because before I came on camera, I was shuffling the deck and this one flew out too. And I put it right back in the deck. But it wants to show itself. Talk shop. Now, there's two ways you can talk shop. You can go talk to your buddy about work and blah, 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 blah. And, okay, talk shop to your auto mechanic. And he's talking about how to fix cars. And, you know, you're all in headspace and blah, 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 blah. And you're talking about your job at the office or whatever and blah, 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 blah. And all the gossip going on in the office space and, you know, water cooler talk and whatnot. That's not what this card is about at all. This card is about talking shop by dropping into heart center, finding out what you want to talk about. What is your shop talk? What is your true passion? Finding your true passion and speaking of that. Okay, so this card really wants to present itself today. And the two people that are talking here, what are they talking about? Look in their little talk bubble here. They're not talking about work or auto mechanics or water cooler talk and gossip. What's in their heart? What's in their heart bubble? Yeah, perfect word for it. What's in their talk bubble right there? They're talking from the heart. Okay, they've dropped into heart space and they're talking about their passions. And so, yeah. Trust yourself to go into the heart and speak from the heart. One more for today. And I'm asking my spirit guides to actually show us a brand new card and not one that we've seen before. Okay. And we've seen this one before. but only once. Downtime. Get off that hamster wheel. And you know what's funny? I think these 3 cards may have all come up at the same time in a different reading that I did. Isn't that odd? So you're making a point with me right now. You're playing with me. Hi, sweets. The spirits are playing with me right now.
Good.
So get off that hamster wheel. Get out of the rut that you're in. Take a different route to work. Drive a different route to the grocery store. Cook a different food for dinner. Get out of the rut. Get off that hamster wheel. Take some downtime for yourself. All right, maybe one of the ways that I can take downtime for myself is, you know, I'm not selling. I know I put it in my description box all the time, but I'm not selling it. I'm not being promoted. I get a misfit box, and sometimes, you know, you get to choose what vegetables and stuff you get in there, and they have a lot of the things that you would find in the grocery store and some unique things. Sometimes I click and get a unique thing, and I decide to learn how to do something with it that is different. And so one of my downtime things is to experiment and cook a little bit. And that's one way that I get out of ruts and get out of my headspace, is to learn to do a new thing. Learn to cook this weird looking lumpy vegetable I've never seen before. Go out and buy a new seasoning. All right. And come up with some yummy side dish. And that's one way that I can drop out of head, go into heart, speak from the heart, cook from the heart, drive the car from the heart, not the mind. You know, maybe pay a little bit more attention. There's 2 main routes I go to work. One is through town, and I go that way if I need to stop for gas or stop at the store. The other is over the hills and through the woods, but not to Grandma's house. Definitely not to Grandma's house. Not unless Grandma's surrounded by barbed wire. But whichever way I go to work, when I'm trying to drop into heart center and trying to be present, I'll take notice of the scenery. I'll see what differences I see, like which time of year it is. It's spring and things are sparse but starting to turn green, or it's the thick of summer and everything is full and lush. Or middle of winter, I won't take those back roads, but I'll see all the glistening snow. I'm not a snow person, but it is pretty sometimes, but not when you're driving in it. But, you know, take notice of things around you in your day-to-day life as you're doing things, and try to break up your habits a little bit. Break out those crayons, draw with the opposite hand, talk what's in your heart, all that stuff. Take some downtime. Now, all right, guides. I asked you for a different card, and this one popped out. I'm going to keep shuffling. This one literally flew out. And I think she may be new. I'm not sure if I've drawn this one on camera before. I know I've seen her before, but this one may be new to you. Number 10, Empress of the Pearl. Try to block that backlight I've got going on there. Empress of the Pearl. You have an inner gift of great value born of struggle, adversity, and challenge. In wisdom, you know that suffering can lead to growth, provided you were willing to search for a way to heal through it. Seeking challenges as ways to expand your spiritual light empowers you to focus on your growing light rather than getting caught up in suffering. And I do like this camera a lot more. It's focusing on the card as I bring it up instead of focusing on my face. I think that's wonderful. Is it going to refocus on my face here? Yep. I ought to just shut my door when I make these videos just to help with that glare. I'm learning. I'm still learning how to YouTube. All right. So Empress of the Pearl, you have an inner gift of great value. Everyone has a little pearl of great value within them that they're meant to show to the world eventually. It's born of struggle, adversity, and challenge. It sure is. For me, anyway. In wisdom, you know that suffering can lead to growth. I've learned that. Provided there's always a but, right? So suffering can lead to growth, provided you are willing to search for a way to heal through it. Now, the words heal through it. You have to go through it. You have to go through. You can't just shove it down. To let it bubble to the surface, you have to let it release. You have to feel the feelings. You have to let them flow. And then you'll be able to release and heal from that. Seeing challenges as a way to expand your spiritual light empowers you to focus on growing light rather than getting caught up in the suffering. Are you the victim? Or are you the hero of your story? I grew up for most of my adult life being the victim of my story. It's when I turned the script around and saw myself as the hero of my story that my whole life changed and blossomed. Empress of the Pearl. The pearl of great wisdom, the pearl of great compassion. Adversity from struggle comes growth. And with that, thank you guys for joining me. This is my cat, Pavi. He's decided to come show his face. Hi, Pav. So thank you for joining my video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel. Hit that notification bell. All those fun things. And I will see you guys all tomorrow. I hope you all have an amazing day. Namaste.